Hello everyone, my name is Humphrey Olodia. As you know, you are welcome to the chemistry class this morning. Today we'll be looking at the concept of mole ratio. If you enjoy cooking, more than likely you will understand that mixing ingredients in the right proportion gives you the desired result for your meal to be tasty. That same skill is key in chemistry, where chemicals have to be mixed in the right proportion in order for us to have the desired product or desired result. Okay, now the beginning of the mixing chemicals in the right proportion has to do with the concept of balancing chemical equation. In fact, you know that every single equation must be balanced. Now, what information do we get from a balanced chemical equation? Now, can you look at the board? Here we have a balanced equation where we have this chemical combining with this chemical to produce this chemical. Okay, now we write a number in front of each of the chemical. Those numbers could be referred to as coefficients. Now these coefficients, they stand for a purpose. Now what purpose do they stand for? We usually refer to them as mole. So for example, you have this chemical is actually called pentane. 1 mole of pentane requires 5 mole of oxygen to give you 3 mole of carbon dioxide and 4 mole of water. Now, most times you might have more than what is written there in the balance equation, or you might have less. Now, if you have more, for example, you have 2 mole of oxygen, you can predict how much of oxygen do you need to react with the pentane to give you the desired product. And that's why you have the ratio like that. So you have 1 mole of pentane giving you 5 mole. Therefore, 2 mole of pentane will require 10 mole. If you just look at what has been written there, you will understand how ratio work in chemistry. Okay, so if we do that, you can predict what product or what reactant, how much of reactant you will be needing. Now, from this concept, we want to see if you are given a question. Let's say you are given a question to predict, to forecast. What are the steps? How can you go about it? Now, we'll take an example. Or let's first of all look at the steps. First step, identify the coefficients. When we say identify the coefficients, you are looking at the numbers used to balance the equation. Having gotten the number, you move on to the next step. Next step, write them in form of ratio. Write this number in form of ratio. Which one and which one are you comparing? Write them in form of ratio. Then you go ahead to solve the problem. So we'll take example of a situation where we will solve that problem. Okay? So let's quickly look at this. So we have a problem here to solve. Okay? Yeah. So this is it. You have calcium reacting with oxygen to give you calcium oxide. The equation has been balanced. I told you the first step is to balance the equation. Now, having balanced the equation, you want to look at the coefficient, the ratio. For here, you say that 2 of calcium will require 1 of oxygen, and that will give you 2 of calcium oxide. In other words, they are in ratio 2 to 1 to 2. Is that okay? Now, what if you don't have 2 of calcium? You have 4 of calcium. How much of oxygen would you need? If 2 will give me 1 of oxygen, 4 will definitely give me what? 4 will give you what? Obviously, you are going to divide by 2. So this is going to give you 2. Is that understood? So if 4 is giving you 4 of calcium, will give you 4 of calcium oxide, then 4 will also give you that. I hope that is understood. Okay, so in the B part, you are asked, you only have 5 mole of oxygen. you don't know how much of calcium, you don't know how much of calcium oxide will be made. The first step, like we have seen, you write the coefficient. They are in ratio 2 to 1. So calcium to oxygen, they are in ratio 2 to 1. Now that we have 5 oxygen, how much of this are we going to have? Obviously, you are going to do what? 2. You're going to have 2 divided by 5. And 2 divided by 5, if you punch your calculator, you know it's going to give you 2.5. Okay? So that's how to go about it. So the same way, if this is going to be 2.5, since calcium to calcium oxide are in ratio 2 to 2, you are also going to have 2.5. Okay? Now the third one, the last one, we are given the mole of calcium only. Now you have to predict what oxygen, how much of oxygen will be required and how much of calcium oxide will be made. Step 1, you write from the balance equation. From balance equation, you have 2 of calcium to 1 of oxygen. So if they are ratio 2 to 1, now that you don't have 2, you have 0.1 of calcium. How much of oxygen would you require? The same thing, you are doing 2 divided by 0.1, which is going to give you 0.05. Is that okay? Now, since calcium and calcium oxide are in ratio 2 to 2, it means they will be in the same value. So you are having 0.05 here and you are having 0.10 here. I hope this makes it a little easier for you. I hope this makes it a little easier for you. Mole concept is, mole ratio is actually not a problem. If you like this video, I want to encourage you to please subscribe. And if it's your first time, please do like our channels. Thank you for paying attention. Bye for now.